Creatures of creativity. Welcome to the Creatures of Creativity podcast, the podcast focused on the people and the process of creating. This is episode number 7. I am David Leip, and as always, we are presented by Whole Street Productions, creating powerful stories through film. Check them out at wholestreetproductions.com. And joining me in the studio tonight from Whole Street Productions, as always, our principal partners, Michael Segura. Good to see you, Michael.
Nice to be here.
And Ryan Tollison. Good to see you, Ryan.
You too.
You guys are busy these days, huh?
Yeah. Got picked up. Business kind of went wild here over the last few weeks and kind of catching up, but can't complain.
And tonight's episode, we are meeting with teacher, singer, songwriter Charlie Brown from Civic Memorial High School in Bethalto. Welcome to the show, Charlie.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks for having me, guys.
Heard so many great things about you from these guys, and got a chance to see your music video recently, and I can't wait to hear your story. So let's just go ahead and start. How many years have you been teaching at Bethalto?
Teaching, I am going into my 32nd year coming up, teaching at Civic Memorial in Bethalto.
And you've been there for the whole time? Your entire teaching career?
I've bounced around a lot. I started off at East Alton Wood River in '94, and then in 2000 I moved down to Nashville, Tennessee, and taught down there for 8 years. Then I came back to East Alton Wood River again. Then I moved over to Roxana for 10 years, and then I just switched 6 years ago over to Bethalto. So I've bounced around a little bit.
Why don't we start with your personal story? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Roxana. Actually, the last house in Wood River, we grew up on the corner of 10th and Esther, but we were Roxana School District, so I was a Roxana kid.
Okay. My grandparents lived at the bottom of the 9th Street Hill.
Okay.
So
where the pond is.
Yep. Practically neighbors.
Okay. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. And as a kid, what kind of kid were you?
I was a little adventurous, I guess. You know, I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and we had a lot of, we were outdoor kids. You know, just like back in the 70s and 80s, we were just always outside doing stuff, and I played a lot of sports. My brothers, I'm the youngest of 5, so my brothers were athletes. My sister was a cheerleader, so we were always around athletics. So I followed what they did, and I did basketball, baseball, and football, and kept busy doing that. And with the music thing, I kind of always wanted to do the music, but I never really did it until I got into college.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you play for Charlie Raiche?
I did. I played for Charlie Raiche, and fortunately, I got to be on the team that went to the state championship. We lost 14-7, but we were the first and only team to make it that far, and it was a huge honor. I was the wide receiver, and I got to play around a lot of incredible players, and of course, all the players before us, years before us, including my brother Jim back in '78. They paved the way for all that greatness and all that fun. So I got to play for Bill Smith and Jeff Welker, Joe Huff.
Charlie Raiche, I think, is one of the preeminent coaches in the history of our region.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? How would you describe Charlie?
Absolutely. Just super smart, knew the game inside and out, but also he was just there was nobody like him. He was just dry, funny, strict, but when it came game time, he was hilarious, but he was one of those guys that didn't have to try to be funny. He was just funny naturally.
You're the first person that I've interviewed, and I've interviewed a lot of people who knew Charlie. You're the first person to remark on his sense of humor.
Oh gosh,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
But he, like I said, I don't think he was trying, and that's why he was so funny. He wore an Air jersey every day for practice, and every single day, no T-shirt underneath it. And we'd be in the showers, and he'd just have a big white 58 on his back with the sun beating down. And I don't know why it was 58. I don't know. I think he just grabbed a jersey one day and thought this is my practice jersey. So
He wore the same jersey every day.
he did.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to grow up around all that, and had some great coaches and great people leading me.
College.
I went out for the baseball team for fall tryouts, and I was so used to being a starter. I was not first team all conference and everything, but I always had to do the best I could with the small body I was given. But I was always a starter. I played second base. I was a point guard, and I was wide receiver. And so when it came time for, I really didn't want to go to college because I didn't really like the school. I liked the athletics and I liked the being around my friends. But it seemed like the next logical step. So I went to Lewis and Clark to try out for baseball. It just seemed like the right thing to do. I didn't really prepare. And then I ended up getting cut. I remember the coach, Joe Silkwood was the coach out there that time, and he said, I'm going to put the list up on outside the coach's door to see if your name's on it. And I went by there and just, I was looking for my name and didn't see it. And so I scanned it again and didn't see it again. And for some weird reason, I was devastated. I was actually lost because I was just I was just a sports kid. Always wanted to do the music, but never really did. It didn't really make sense in my household at the time. So now I'm, from going from every day after school to some kind of practice or a game, I'm going to school Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and going home after school and sitting on my bed, just wondering what I'm going to do with my life. And then, about that time, I loved music so much. And then Clint Black came out, Garth Brooks came out with his first single, Randy Travis, all that stuff, all these just incredible songs started coming on the radio, which there were always incredible songs before that, but those songs were really just hit me. So I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I went and got a job at Pasta House and started waiting tables and saved up $225, and I found a friend, John Matheny. I asked him, where I could go get a guitar, and then a guy named Perry Yates said, I know a place, and he took me to Alton, a place called Hoppers. I don't know if it's still in business or not, but I bought me a black Epiphone guitar.
Halpin?
No, it's called Hoppers, but Halpin's like the big one that was there, but this was kind of a little mom and pop guitar shop. So, Hoppers.
So were you always listening to country music? All the artists you just named?
I loved country probably the most at that time, but in my house, I would go into my brother's room and he'd be playing, Johnny Cash, and then I'd go into my sister's room and she'd be playing like Kiss records. Go down the basement, my other brother is playing Dan Fogelberg, and just all kinds of just different genres, and I loved it all. I just think if music's good, it's good. But I did lean toward country more than all of the others, and then. Also at that time when country was big, the Outfield came out, and I loved that stuff and all of the, Magic Carpet Ride, all that stuff that was coming out. That was just cool old classic rock songs too. So I didn't really know which direction to go. So I think I just picked one, and I picked country because it just it spoke to me. I love the stories. I love how it made me feel, and I always wanted to do that. But I didn't know exactly how. So back before Google and YouTube, I had to find someone to teach me how to play guitar. I didn't even know how to tune the thing. I used to call my friend John and just pluck the guitar string over the phone, and he'd say up, higher, higher, until I got it right. And I would do that every couple days. And then I found a vocal teacher, Judy McGill, who was a teacher at Roxana as well. And she taught me how to sing. And then I just had to go on a search for books on how to write songs. So I found a couple books on how to write songs and just dove in.
So when you start writing songs and you get the voice training and all that stuff, were you already a teacher at that point, or were you still a college student at that point?
I was not a teacher yet. I was 20 when all that happened. When I was 20 when I decided I was going to get a guitar and started getting these lessons, and so I was writing songs then, but I was just kind of figuring out how to figure out what a chorus was and how many lines a verse needed, and kind of the structure of it, the mechanics of it. And then by the time I was a teacher, when I finally started to make some money, enough money to go, like, spend a little money on a recording, I went down to Nashville and did like a two-song single on cassette.
Songs that you wrote?
Yes. Yeah.
Solo, acoustic?
No, I actually, we had a full band on it, but I mean, I wrote them by myself. But when it came time to record it, we got studio musicians to play on them.
So you're writing bass lines and you're writing the drum pieces and everything?
No, I'm writing the lyric and the melody and,
okay.
Putting it to a chord structure. And then I let those guys take off on how it was supposed to sound. That was back when I didn't know how to do that. But now I do have more input on, like with Parking Lot Prayers. I knew what I wanted it to sound like in my head, so I could relay that to my producer.
Can you write music? I mean, can you read music? Can you read sheet music?
I can't read music.
That always fascinates me, how people can write songs. Like, I don't know how that works. I don't know how that.
I don't know. If I would have known I was going to go this far with the music and just continue to do it, I probably would have studied a little bit more and figured out how to. I know I would have learned to play piano, and I probably would have learned how to read music and maybe a couple other instruments. Drums has always been cool, but I know enough on the guitar to write the melody, get the words out, and then I just hire the right people to.
So you start writing
the rest
songs
of it
before you're a teacher, and then once you're a teacher, you're able to have the funds to get some studio space.
Yeah, to have recordings that are more quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And all this time you've been a teacher since '94. You've just been writing songs and singing.
Writing songs, singing, trying to get every time I write a song and record a song, I usually put it on my own project or record or whatever they call them these days. And then, but I always send them to my contacts in Nashville to see if they can get them to whoever might want to record them. So I'm always, I'm trying to get cuts by major label artists, but I'm also recording songs for me, like Parking Lot Prayers. I knew when I wrote it, I knew it was a special song, but I didn't necessarily think I was going to get it recorded by someone big, a Tim McGraw or somebody like that. Not saying that it wouldn't, but a lot of people in Nashville were, publisher-wise, they're like, this is a great song, but, it's not going to get recorded because, there's no...
Too personal.
Well, yeah.
For you.
And there's not a lot of... Well, there's no artists that I know of that are teachers and singers.
And that was a question that I was thinking about is, like, have you gone through a lot of phases? I know you said you started out really leaning into country, but were you trying other things along the way? And, how did you kind of find your sound over the time of juggling being a teacher and maybe, trying to figure out how that fits in with your reputation or something?
Mm-hmm.
I think those are the type of things that I've balanced over the years as a experience as a musician.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that just this album that's coming out now, which it's still going to be a year before it comes out because I just started recording it, but I feel like I've found my sound. I wouldn't necessarily call it a country album, but I wouldn't call it like a true pop album. It's not, but I definitely am leaning more pop on this album. It's not a Justin Bieber record, and it's not going to be a George Jones record. It's going to be somewhere in between with all the different flavors of country and pop that I enjoy. That's not going to make people wonder, what happened to me or what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm kind of finding my voice these days too, because when I first started singing, I was, I wanted to be Garth Brooks and Clint Black forever, and so I was singing with twang for a decade.
Uh-huh.
And after a while, I just thought, okay, well, I'm from Southern Illinois, but this isn't my voice. And I love Garth and I love Clint Black, but I finally it took me a good 5 years probably to just untwang my voice because it was just me singing like that because I love those songs so much. Two of a Kind, Working on a Full House, and Better Man, all those great country songs, even Randy Travis, and I just put that twang in there because I loved it. So I feel like I'm singing more, finding my own voice and finding my own sound. And did I answer your question?
Oh yeah, and it's really wild to me how certain things parallel like this in my experience and among a number of musicians and artists, and that's exactly, I assumed that was probably the case. Especially just kind of being influenced by big musicians like that. Like my journey started whenever I have a very early memory of me watching that Garth Brooks tour whenever he came out with that first album, and it was a huge, it was like it was everything in the pop culture at that time, and I was like only 3 years old.
That's great.
I was a hip hop artist for a period of time. Mm-hmm. Really pushing that in college after Ryan and I were in a band together doing alternative rock music. So I went from like alternative music to hip hop, and then I grew up on country, the same guys that you were, emulating when you were starting your music career. But like, I had no idea like really what went into all that. I was just like, this is what I want to do. So when I picked up my acoustic guitar, I was also doing a twang.
Yeah.
And that was something that I heavily pushed, and then I was like, well, like you said yourself, I try to just find your voice. But being from Southern Illinois, and my wife, she's from Chicago, and whenever I first went to school up there, everyone's like, oh, you got a accent, I can hear it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it is there a little bit, but it's not that natural thing that, and some of these guys probably don't have that heavy of a twang either. But anyways, it's just something that really captivates the listener whenever you're listening to that genre.
Yeah.
Can we listen to a little bit of Parking Lot Prayers?
Yeah.
You think that's a good idea?
Yeah. Let's give it a listen.
All right, let's
Sure.
do just a little bit of this. All right, ready? Here we go. Oh, that's an advertisement. We're going to skip that. We're not going to give any
no free plugs on this show.
No free advertising for this or that people. All right, here we go. This is going to come up next. Here we go. Okay, and you want to set this up just a little bit for us? This is a song for your students.
Yeah, I wrote this for my students. After this little clip's over, I'll get into the details of it because it take a while.
Okay, well, folks can't see the clip. They're just listening.
I'll throw it up on the video.
Backing in my favorite parking spot. Cup of coffee spilling on top of ungraded papers. In my passenger seat, fold my hands up over the steering wheel. Talk to God through the crack in my windshield. I pray for your hopes, I pray for your dreams. Pray your hearts get just what they need. Rain down a million miracles, paint that sky up beautiful. Let these young hearts know you're really up there. Surround them, hold them close, remind them they're never alone. It's 6:55, right before I walk in there. I say my parking lot prayers. Clock's ticking away that senior year. Walk the stage and wave, then you're out of here. Forget the clicks and labels, 'cause one day we'll all be sitting at the cool table. Rain down a million miracles, paint that sky up beautiful. Let these young hearts know you're really up there. Surround them, hold them close, remind them they're never alone. It's 6:55, right before I walk in there. I say my parking lot prayers. I pray for you.
Good stuff, man. And I'm watching the video, and the video is by our guys here at Whole Street, Ryan and Michael. Congratulations to you guys on a fantastic film here, guys.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful song.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me about the reaction.
Well, I mean, this is the first time I've ever done like a real video. I've done a million videos with. No, I take that back. I wrote a song for the football team at Roxana a long time ago. That was more of a professional video, but this was a professional recording and video. And I'm so glad I got a hold of these guys. It's so ironic how I met these guys. Aaron Kellim is producing this record. They went to school with Aaron, which I didn't know that at the time. But I also know the Pritchard family, and Jim Pritchard just came out with he's had a business for a few years now. It's doing really well. And I saw a commercial that he was doing. I was like, my gosh, that's a really good professional commercial. He must be doing well. Mm-hmm. And then he did another commercial that was basically like plugging these guys and thanking you guys for doing for doing the commercial. And I thought, I might get a hold of these guys just to see. I thought, who knows if I can afford these guys. And so, but they made it to where I could afford them. And so I got a hold of them and just said, hey, I want to do a music video. What do you think? And then somehow you found out that Aaron Kellim was producing the record. And then that connection happened. And then we made it happen. And I told him my vision. And Michael was saying over there earlier that he was happy that I gave him the vision for the video. I thought I gave you too much vision because my wife is always like, well, let them do their thing too. And I said, I know, I'm trying to, but I really want this to happen. And I'm picturing this, and they made everything happen that was in my head. And then there's also a couple surprises that I just never expected. That just made it so much better.
And the young people in the video are actual students at CM.
Yes.
How cool.
I've always wanted to write a song for my students, and I'd written a couple. One was called A Teacher's Prayer, and then one was Sitting at the Cool Table, which all that is kind of entwined in this song. But
I heard that.
It never really came. I don't know. It just sounded a little bit trite, even though I was writing from my heart. But it was more kind of like a chase your dreams, and you can do anything you want to do, and put your mind to it, and don't give up, and all that stuff's good. Don't get me wrong.
But sitting at the cool table is something that you live in every day. You see that every day as a high school teacher, and I do too.
I do. Yeah, and
it's a thing.
And there's really no such thing as, for a window of time, you might think you're at the cool table, but sometimes the cool table are people that you might not think are popular.
But for the kids,
cool
it's
ones.
a real thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's very traumatic for children, especially in middle school, kids who are younger than you, to be at the cool table, to be accepted. Everybody wants to be accepted by somebody, and that's part of what you're saying here.
Oh, absolutely, because I'm talking about heaven. We're all going to be sitting at the cool table, and so I've always wanted to write a song for my students, and then finally I just thought, this past graduating class of 2025, it was just loaded with incredible kids, and there's incredible kids every year, but this class was really special, and I thought this has got to be the year where I write this song. It's just got to happen. So I thought, well, okay, I've tried this 3 times now, hasn't quite worked. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to write the truth. And so I thought, okay, what happens every morning? Okay, I get up, I say goodbye to my wife, and I say goodbye to my kid. I start praying for my family as I drive away. And then when I get to the parking lot, I say a prayer for my students. And then I go in, and then all the madness happens. And so I said, maybe it's called parking lot prayers. So I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to write down my day. And so I thought, okay, the sun's coming up. Okay, I got my coffee, got my papers I haven't graded. And then I thought, well, what do I want to pray for these kids? And my first line was rain down a million miracles, because we need a bunch of them. And then it just kind of went from there. And then that second verse, I almost went into, hey, I'm trying to make them smile while I'm teaching and throw in some dad jokes here and there. And I thought, no, I don't want to make it about, it's not about me, it's about them. So I started talking about, graduation coming. And I thought, okay, well, that's where the cool table comes in, because one day we're all going to be sitting there. And honestly, I don't want it to be like one of those, I was just there holding the pen and God worked through me, and make it sound cliche, but it really was a gift. I mean, the song came easy. I knew what I wanted it to sound like, production wise, and I thought, well, this is it. This is the song. So now I have to record the song, and it's going to go on my record. It's going to be the first one that I record. But I still didn't have the title of an album yet. So I was still simmering about that, and I thought, well, maybe it is Parking Lot Prayers, but I'm not sure. So then I'm thinking, well, if this song's for my students, I need to get some of these. I knew we had some killer singers in our class, so I thought, oh, I'm gonna find these 4 people that I actually just asked around, but I kind of had in my mind who I wanted to sing anyway. Then I asked around, and the same names came up. So I had these 4 girls come in, wonderful students, wonderful people.
Great voices too.
Asked them to sing on it. So they did. I said it only made sense. If I'm going to do Parking Lot Prayers, let's have them on it. And then I thought, okay, this is going to happen. This is cool. So now what's the title of my album? And then one of the art teachers, not Sean Kelly's, but his partner, Chloe Tomior, she came in my classroom in the middle of while I was teaching. She said, hey, look at this. And it was a picture. What she had done was she found a big picture of my head and my face. I guess that's the same thing. And she broke it up into 16 pieces, and the kids didn't even know what they were drawing, and they just drew a square about this big, and she put it all together, and it was me. And it was just like this abstract, cool thing, because every kid has their own little touch and style. And I was like, well, that's my album cover, and so my album is called Parking Lot Prayers. So it's just so cool how it happened. And then got it recorded in time. Aaron really worked hard to get that done, got the girls in the studio. And
Where do you record?
I record the music, the tracks usually I do in Nashville, and then they email them. And then I go to Lighthouse Sounds in Alton to put my vocal on it. They email it back, mix it up, do all the polishing, and send it back to me. So, but this time Aaron lives out in L.A., so he did the track, and we did it that way. I still sang it at Lighthouse Sounds. So it's just cool how it happened.
How much of the album is done?
I have that one is completely done, obviously, because it's out. I've got 3 other songs recorded, vocals and background vocals. It's just not mixed yet. And then I've got one I have to put my vocal on in about 2 weeks. And my next single is going to come out in October. In fact, it's called Wood River Sunsets, and that song just popped out. And that song, I'm recording that one not only because I grew up in Wood River. I know I'm a Roxana guy, but I was last house in Wood River. I think Wood River gets a bad rap for a lot of things, so I think it's such a cool town. So I wanted to shine a light on Wood River. So I wrote a song called Wood River Sunsets with a former student of mine who's from Wood River. And so it's got another little aspect of working with the student again. And it talks about autumn. And so it's going to be an October release. So it's going to kind of pass up the other songs I was mentioning that were recorded. And these guys are going to do another little lyric video for me. I don't know if I can go back to doing iPhone videos anymore after seeing Parking Lot Prayers video.
It's like once you get that itch.
Now I'm just talking about everything. What was it? Was that a question? What happened?
No.
The process of the song.
How much of the album?
How much of the album? Yeah, that was
okay.
Good. Yeah.
That was it. So I would say we're getting close to being halfway done.
With the second album.
Yeah.
So this album number 2. How many songs do you think you've written?
This is actually my 6th studio album. But it's probably going to be my best one if I'm guessing right. I hope so. Anyway, hopefully I get better with time. I probably have written 400 or 500 songs in my career. I guess most of those are stepping stone songs, and songs that are good. They make sense, and they have a chorus and a verse. And
you think it's important for songs to make sense? I know a lot of great songs that make no sense.
I Want It That Way. I love that song. I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. How about Bomp Amp a Loom Bomp a Womp Sham Boom?
Yeah.
That's people say, oh, they don't write lyrics like they used to.
A melody has a lot to do with how good songs are. I think melody is very underrated.
Yeah.
I don't know. But some of those songs were just stepping stone songs, and I was just learning. And even today, I can't sit down and just say I'm going to write a great song and it happens. I had to have a great idea, something that really means something to me. I still write as much as I can, and I don't write just when I feel like it, because then I'd only write a couple songs a year. So I do write consistently on a schedule. But
what is your schedule? Like what time of day? How often during the week?
Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday evening from 7:30 till I can't stay awake. That's a given. All
3 nights a week, 7:30 until you can't stay awake.
Yes, and then in the summer, which is right now, I get a lot of time during the day when my son goes to camps on some weeks, and I'll have a 7-hour day at home, and I get a lot done.
What comes first, the lyrics or the melody?
Usually the idea or the title. I just listen to. I'm scrolling Facebook and looking at memes and sayings and inspirational quotes, and then I listen to people talk, and I just get a little phrase. And honestly, at school, those kids keep me young, and they say these little things.
Ear hustling.
Yeah, and so I'm just taking notes when they should be.
When you're writing songs now compared to whenever you first started, do you feel more rewarded now, or do you have this similar aspirations in? Because I feel like a lot of musicians, when they start out early on, they've got like a glorified idea of how things will be, and now it seems like you probably know who you are and where you're at, and you seem really happy with what you're doing and how you're doing it. So do you feel more rewarded now?
I do. I do. That's a good question. I feel it's more exciting now because I feel like I'm a lot better than I was at writing. I kind of know where to go. I know what doesn't belong in a song. And I have more freedom to say what I want because I used to be, for a good 10-year period, I was chasing what was on the radio, and I really wanted to get people to record my songs, and I was trying to figure out what they wanted instead of like writing what I felt. Chasing hits is no fun. That was a kiss of death for me because I was not happy doing it. I just wanted to be famous, and I wanted to be known for writing a song for whoever. But this Parking Lot Prayers, it was the most fun I've ever had of writing a song, of getting the title, having my students in the studio. It was the first time I ever cried in a studio. I wrote the song for them, and these girls are in there just singing their butts off, singing the harmony. When I heard them singing on that song, the tears, I wasn't like, bawling, but, I'm fighting them back.
It was emotional.
That's way more important and exciting than like when Blake Shelton recorded my song. That was really exciting, and I made a little money, and it was fun. I get to bragging rights or whatever, but that was the most fun and rewarding, absolutely, by far.
What song did Blake Shelton record?
Blake recorded a song that I wrote with Charlie Steffel and Tommy Carlos called "What I Wouldn't Give." In fact, Lila McCann, who happens to be my favorite female country singer, she recorded the same exact song. She recorded it before Blake Shelton did, but then she parted ways with Broken Bow Studios, so it never was released. But I got a copy of it. So
good stuff, man.
So that was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The Parking Lot Prayers was my favorite. So I think I just feel more comfortable with what I'm doing now and more confident, and just I have a healthy, I don't care what Nashville thinks in me. Also, I respect Nashville enough, and there's some heavy hitters down there and some amazing people who've, steered me in the right direction and have helped me in a lot of ways. But I just have enough of, I don't care what they think. If I cared too much of what they think, I wouldn't have written Parking Lot Prayers because it wouldn't have got recorded by anybody. But it's my song. So,
do you have the luxury of not caring what Nashville thinks and not caring if people buy your records because you're a teacher, because you've got a steady income?
Yes. That's another part of it too, because I have a lot of people that I really respect. Tommy Carlos is one. I grew up 2 doors down from him. Of course, he's 11 years younger than me, but I have all the respect in the world for him because he has zero other plans. You know, he has no plan B. He moved there when he was 18. He's cranking out songs. He's getting cuts. He's having some success, but he's still, hasn't reached that part where he can take a breath. You know, he may never because he works so hard and he's so talented, but he has no plan B. And I used to always think, I've got a plan B. So, you know, how serious am I? Because I heard this, you always hear, don't have a plan B. You have to be all in. And I don't agree with that. I used to try to write my way out of teaching, but now I just don't want to. I like teaching. Every fall, I don't want to go back to work. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to go. I don't want the summer to end, and I always dig my heels in. But when it's time to go back, you know, it's like, okay, I have to go back, and then I get these brand new kids in, and then I get to tease them, make them laugh, and we get to cook food, and I get to know them, and hopefully make just a little bit of a mark on them. And I don't want to write my way out of teaching anymore. So,
plus you're close to retirement now. I mean, it would make no sense for you to stop. How many years?
I should be close to retirement, but I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not. When I was younger, I thought that taking retirement money out to get cool cars and have nice clothes would be a good idea. So I'm gonna be teaching for a while.
Okay. Well,
And
good.
I was also going to ask, you know, because I want to hear like what Ryan's perspective is on, you know, kind of getting your ideas, you know, kind of come back around to the music video, and what your thoughts were whenever Charlie was explaining it, especially like our perspective as former students from CM, and how much has changed, but then kind of like having this full circle thing occur, and then just being able to visualize like all this stuff. But then I know you show up to the high school and everything's different.
Well, yeah, definitely different from when we were there. It was a surreal moment, but yeah, I mean, Charlie had everything written down and all the ideas laid out, and knew what he wanted, and made it easy for me to capture those moments. And it was just one of those sort of indie guerrilla style shoots where, you know, we showed up and we shot at 6 a.m. or something, and and then we went to the recording studio and shot for a little while. And I kind of like the, I mean, of course you're prepared and you know what you're doing, but it's also a lot of ad-libbing, and I like that. I like being creative on the fly and figuring things out. So I think we had a good rapport in that regard. But yeah, it was just a, like you said, it was a full circle thing. I think that was the thing that got me the most, especially after finding out that Aaron was, you know, involved in producing this, and having worked with him. It was just a cool experience all around, and being able to go back there and to see him, because I haven't really been back. I know I haven't been inside that building in 15, 20 years. So it was definitely surreal in that regard. But yeah, it was a cool process. It was a great video. I love doing those types of projects like that too.
And
Awesome.
and you've mentioned before, I know, you know, Dave has brought up the topic about just, you know, having creativity as a way to approach a class, you know, and teach kids. And I know, like, I got to experience certain teachers in high school, so I had a different experience doing that and going through school, and kind of like having my art or my artistic side really brought out. But you have said, you know, a number of times that it was a lot different for you, you know. So what's it like kind of coming back to CM to do something so creative like this in a place where it was like, it seemed like so rigid for you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hadn't thought of it, but it does kind of, like I said, surreal is a good word for it, but I didn't have the, because we talked about this, Charlie, on a previous one, but Mike had some great mentors, or at least people to look up to teacher-wise, and I never had anybody that really pushed my creativity or helped me explain that, or you know, get point A to point B, or any of that, however you want to put it. Like, I never had anybody that really helped me develop things, or, you know, just said, go for it. So it was kind of surreal to be back in that location and to do something creative like that. you know, I think that was a very cool experience. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I hadn't, you know, until you just brought that up, I hadn't really even put two and two together. But it does kind of, I don't want to say make up for things, but it does, you know, help kind of. It helps me. It helped me a little bit, kind of compartmentalize things and put things in perspective, and just focus on the here and now and getting that project made in the best way possible to fit your vision. So it's just really cool to see the school seems to have a lot of great leadership.
Yes.
Compared to when you and I were there, not to constantly just dump on the school when we were there, but I mean, it's a night and day.
Could you imagine, like,
it's a night and day
music
difference
video
now
for someone who taught us? Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking.
No, and there's not a single teacher I can think about that would have been into
Maybe
that
you guys
or
were
done
just
that.
terrible kids.
Maybe.
You ever think about that?
That's possible.
You know, you didn't get along with the teachers, but probably like
they probably all hated us.
Yeah, I think that was the issue.
You're scumbags. I don't know.
Yeah. But
no.
it's how is it for you, Charlie? You know, now as a teacher and being at CM, and because you know, I'm sure at the other schools you were at, things were probably rigid to a certain extent too, and then over time things kind of change with the culture and the kids and the students and technology.
Yeah. It's been great, actually. You know, my first couple of years were rough, and before I get into this, you know, I hope I gave you guys enough room to be creative. I'm glad you said that I gave you a little bit, so hopefully I didn't take over too much. But no, it's been great. My first couple of years at CM were rough because I was in my hometown teaching for 10 years, and then just new curriculum, new kids, new teachers, new everything. But once I got some traction, it's just been I'm glad I made the move just to try something new, and I like to do things that scare me, and it scared me, so I did it.
Yeah.
And then my first year or two, I was wondering what the heck I did, but now I'm very, very happy there. And Justin Newell, he's just the best boss ever. You know, he's one of the few people that I know who run a school, but he doesn't walk around acting like he runs the school. You know, he doesn't need to make sure that you know that he's the boss. He just wants to facilitate. He wants his teachers happy. He wants the kids to succeed. He's always going above and beyond. And to have a boss like that it's kind of weird in a very great way. It's not normal.
I think that, indirectly probably fosters creativity for you, I would imagine, having that freedom. And he was there the days in the video. He was there when we were shooting, supporting this whole thing. And it's got to be pretty cool to have your boss, quote unquote, have your back like that. Especially in a school setting like
huge.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. And he got there at 5:36 in the morning to open the school for us. And then met us later for the second shoot, bought everybody pizzas.
Yeah.
Was in the video, made a little cameo, and then played the song and presented it to the students and created this assembly to play it for them and present it to them. And it was cool.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a good place to be. I didn't know that you didn't have quite the experience that you hoped for.
It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I just didn't have that one teacher that said like, oh, you should really think about this, take this film idea, take this somewhere, or you should really, cinematography or writing or whatever it might be. I was just kind of an afterthought. It was we were on, I think I mentioned this to you, we were on the back end of a lot of retirees. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of them retired when we graduated, so they kind of had one foot out the door a little bit.
Well, a lot of them weren't thinking about retirement until they had you.
Oh, I know.
and then they were convinced.
They're like, this kid sucks. We're getting out of here.
Did you make it known that you were into the film, the creativity?
So there was a couple, like our English class, we got to do. We talked our teachers into allowing us to do videos instead of like write papers for the Crucible and Julius Caesar and all these different books. So that was cool to do that, and they allowed it, but they weren't really like, wow, this is really good. This is great. It's really great to see this kind of, excitement from you and this motivation and drive. It was just kind of like, okay, that's great. All right, moving on to the next, thing in the syllabus. So I don't know. It was just, like I said, I got unlucky with that time period. Had some better teachers in college, obviously, that did, kind of focus more on that. But yeah, it was it could have been a better experience. That's why I was just like so. I've seen a lot of the stuff that is posted on the Facebook for the school and all the cool things that they've got going on. I'm like, I would have died to have a chance to get involved in some of these things, or at least have a principal that like cares this much to do these things. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And I was just going to say briefly, because I've mentioned it before, but Justin Newell is one of the teachers, Mr. Newell to me, who helped hone, certain things and my skills and abilities, where Ryan may have, benefited in a lot of ways from someone like him, which I think you might have had him as a teacher at one point, or maybe not.
I didn't have.
So that would make sense then, because I think like every student of his probably to some degree experience like his just care and consideration as a teacher and them as a student. I was in a government class and he gave me the experience of going through a fake election, mayoral election.
Okay.
And I ended up winning, and it was just the process that still to this day really sticks with me and still kind of like keeps me grounded into in reminding me that like my passion for politics is sincere and I've got like a good foundation into that, and that's one of those experiences that helps keep me there.
That's awesome. That's good. Doesn't surprise me with him.
Yeah.
Any crossover with teaching foods, teaching kids how to cook, and helping kids find their voice?
That's a good question too. I teaching foods or culinary arts, they call it, whatever you want to call it. It definitely lends itself to me being able to get to know the kids a little bit better, because we're in the kitchen, they're doing their thing. We've got 6 different kitchens going on. I can wander around the room and I can pull a kid aside to say, hey, what's going on? How's football or whatever? Just ask about their lives. Versus, I don't know, I guess if you teach math, you got to, it's pretty structured and pretty, it would be really stressful. I don't know if I could ever teach high school math or science. But with the food, it's a little more, I'm a mover. I have to move around, and a lot of these kids do too. And it's just a good way to, you can get to know them a little bit better. So you can give a little bit better, I can give a little bit better advice, or just listen, or just help a kid be seen or heard. I'm not always just like throwing out advice and stuff, but I'm a goofball too. I like to make them smile, and if you can make them feel comfortable, make them feel safe, make them smile a little bit, ask about their life. I think it does lend itself to a little more. I think getting to know them more helps you make more of an impact, just because, I don't know, you feel a little more comfortable prying and pressing a little bit to see what's going on to help them. And, if a kid's being lazy, you can kind of be like, well, maybe you should kind of get with it,
I don't know why.
Get with the program.
I don't know why, but about 20 years ago, I started asking every Monday, and we'll talk in class. I get to know the kids really well, but every Monday, every class, who did something exciting yet legal? Every Monday, exciting yet legal.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll let other kids facilitate. Do you want to do it? You want to facilitate this discussion? And the kid will say, I just slept all week. And it's like, that's not what I want to hear.
Right.
I want to hear exciting, something that was good, and something appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you a chance to brag
Appropriate's
about
always good.
something that is illicit, because somebody always wants to do that, and I'm not here for that. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. You teach
English.
sports.
Yep, sports and lit. Yeah.
Do you get excited about? Do you get excited about a school year when it happens?
I'm excited. I can't wait now. I can't wait for the school year.
Really?
Yeah. I work really hard in the summer, but I can't wait. I can't wait for sci-fi. I'm also teaching sci-fi again this year, which I totally dig. Okay. So you've got a big sports background. Mm-hmm. Did you ever coach?
I did. I've coached baseball, basketball, and football at different sporadic times.
But that must really cut into your music time.
It did, but at the same time, you always, you get ideas from it too. I wrote a song for the Roxana football team. I don't even know when it was. I'm not going to guess the year because I'll be sitting here trying to figure it out. But it's called "Tapping on the Lockers," and I wrote that song by thinking about, what I wanted to say what I would say if I were getting ready to run out on the field because I'd get so excited. Pat Keith was the coach at the time, and he was the best at pump up speeches. And I would never miss him. I always wait until they're like, hey, Charlie, we need to go set up the field and this. I'm like, hold on, I want to hear this thing. And he would start off like this and start off like this, and then he just end it right here. And he was just really good at delivering it. And it always inspired me. And I thought, well, what would I want to say if I were a kid? We always listened to Van Halen and Eye of the Tiger before we went out, and those were great. But what would I want to say personally? And so I wrote this song called Tapping on the Lockers. And so that coaching football inspired that song. So I couldn't complain too much. I did miss the writing a lot when season was in, especially football because you start in the summer. But yeah, I coached basketball a little bit, and I did baseball a little bit right before I moved to CM, freshman.
Is it hard to collaborate on a song? I feel like I would have a hard time in some ways.
It depends on who it is. Yeah, I have some really great co-writers. Not a lot. I used to just write with anybody, especially when I was living in Nashville. They just say write with everyone, but it can be frustrating. It's like dating. Sometimes it's awkward and you just go home and never call them back or whatever. But and sometimes you just really click and you can feed off each other. And some people are just ridiculously talented, and they can take your idea and make it better. So I have probably, if I had to guess, maybe 6 people that I love to co-write with, and then other times I just write them by myself. And then I have people that I trust that I don't write with, but they're really good at what they do, so they give me good feedback.
Live performances? Do you ever perform live?
I do perform live every once in a while. It scares the heck out of me. I don't know why. I love to go in the studio and be alone in that booth and sing it, 20 times and take the best take of it and send it out there and not have to set up equipment and be in front of people and know what to say and wonder if I'm going to sing on key. And I do like it. It scares me. I do it every once in a while.
You guys have played in bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we need to get back on a stage together.
Yeah, that would be something these days. We've played shows for 0 people. The bouncer and the bartender only.
And we played some pretty cool shows at what was called NTF at the time. That was a huge thing, and Aaron played there
New Testament
too.
Fellowship?
Yeah, and he played for a couple bands that was playing at the same shows, they were the ones who drew the crowd, but we got to open for them, so we got to kind of
steal those fans.
Steal
the fans.
I mean, we were terrible, so we
nowhere
didn't,
near as good.
There was no fear of taking anybody's audience away.
Well, how do I hear you guys' music? Is it, you have your own projects?
Actually, Ryan's got a couple.
I've got them. I can send them to you.
Are they out?
Tracks.
Can you?
I think they're on SoundCloud, because we recorded these songs in 05 or 06, in our drummer's house, and they were all done on our. We kind of learned as we went. We didn't really know anything about recording at that point. So they're rough, but we made it work.
They're good though. I still go back and listen.
This stuff.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Like in the can songs.
Yeah. All right.
From the vault.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
Advice for songwriters?
Advice for songwriters.
I hear you saying be true to yourself.
Yeah, that's one. I used to hate it because I used to ask people, my favorite hit songwriters, their advice, and they would say, just write, man. Just write. Just keep writing. And I used to just want to smack them. What does that mean? I want to be on Tim McGraw's records. Just write. Just write. So I don't want to say that, but that's kind of the answer. You just have to you have to be willing to be bad at it for a long time. People think they've written 4 or 5 songs, and I wonder if so and so would record this. Probably not. So if you can't not do it, start now and keep doing it, because I don't know. I probably would have still kept going, but if I'd known it would take me. It took me 17 years after I first started writing songs to get the Blake Shelton thing going. I probably would have kept going because I can't not do it. But if you're doing it just to try to, get rich or be famous or be cool or whatever, it'll never work. You just have to keep doing it. You have to study.
So why are you doing it?
There is a craft.
If you're not doing it to get rich and you're not doing it to be famous anymore, why?
That's a great question. I have to do it because I want people to know my stories. It's a great way to express myself. I wouldn't say I'm great. I'm good one-on-one with people, but in a crowd, if I were giving a speech, I clam up, I get off track and this and that. I wouldn't say I'm well-spoken. I'm not like horrible at it, but it's a good way to say something in 3 minutes exactly how you want to say it, because you can go back and you can rewrite it and you can tweak every word. This is how I feel. Parking lot prayers, word for word, that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly who I am. So that's one reason why I do it, and I just love songs. I absolutely love songs. Like people say I love music, and I'm not saying that they don't, but I love music, but I really love it. Like I want to know why certain melodies work. I want to know why this song wasn't a single. Why would they not have picked this song as a single? Why was why was this song a single and not this one? I'm just very curious, and I just love it. It's like playing Hot Wheels as a kid. I could just do it every day, all day.
You love lyrics?
I do.
Is it harder for you to write the lyrics or to write the melody, to write the music?
It's harder for me to write melody, but I do love to write melody. It's just harder for me to do. The lyrics come more natural for me.
Have you had poetic training, writing training?
Not poetic training. I've taken songwriting lessons before. I've gone to songwriting workshops. I've read books. I've bought DVDs from hit songwriters that show how they do it, how they go about it. So I've definitely, I love being a student, so I love learning.
Could you teach songwriting? I feel like you could.
I could teach songwriting to a certain extent.
I think you're an expert. You've written 500 songs. A top country personality has recorded at least one of your songs.
Yeah. I appreciate you saying that.
You are established.
Every time I say that or think that I would, I just think of all these other people who are teaching songwriting who just have had these massive hits who are just ridiculously
But
talented.
you're a teacher. There's a difference.
Okay.
People who are songwriters aren't teachers. You're a teacher. You know how to teach. Don't sell yourself short. I appreciate. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say?
Is that a program that
I sold myself short.
they implement?
Okay, I did.
Yeah, Lewis and Clark needs to let you teach songwriting. I mean, it'd be tough to get into a high school curriculum,
right?
But like a junior college,
I would do it.
Yeah, you need to, for sure.
How do you do that? Call them up and say, "Hey, you need a songwriting teacher." I have these are my credentials.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. You put it out there, because the other thing is, maybe if Lewis and Clark doesn't take you up on it, there are online courses and online places. Call Nelly. He's got a music recording thing. He probably has no country. Well, you could be the dean of the country western department of Nelly's School of Music.
Oh my gosh.
I can have dreams.
Starting right here on the ground floor.
You're setting it up. I like it. I like it.
I would take the course. I think it's cool.
I will say this podcast wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for Dave talking to us like this at some point. So he might convince you to do this.
I will keep it in mind. I will, Dave.
Well, I think you could do it, man. I think you've got the experience for it.
Oh,
or
yeah.
even
I have
like
no doubt.
creative writing. You could teach creative writing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of all the things that you could teach. Like I would. Do you ever let kids come up with their own recipes?
I do. Yeah.
That would be where it's at for me. I'd be like, come on, we're gonna have a competition. But I think where it would get tricky is who buys the ingredients. Like, because if you put it on them, that's kind of tough.
I say you can make what you want, but you have to use what we have here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
What do we have?
We have the chicken breast cook-off every semester, and they get to make up whatever they want, and they come up with some interesting things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
This is Cheerios and chicken. It could be good.
Yeah. We've done Captain Crunch chicken before.
Oh, like you breaded it?
Yeah.
Captain Crunch?
Yeah.
I'd eat that.
Mm-hmm. And actually, every fall, I say every fall. Last fall, I brought in all these green tomatoes, and we pickled them. And the kids were just like,
Oh,
"What are
wow.
we doing?" You know. And then why I don't eat green tomatoes. Nobody eats green tomatoes, and why are we pickling them? So we pickled green tomatoes, and these kids started eating them. I finally got them to try them, and they loved them. And then we made a 5-gallon bucket of them, and they'd stop by. Kids who weren't even in my class. Can I get some green tomatoes? Yeah, sure. Come on. And so now every fall, I planted some extra tomato plants this year. So green tomatoes, pickled green tomatoes in the fall. That's what we're doing.
That's awesome.
And not to get off topic, but I think teaching kids how to eat healthy, would be unbelievable in that
Healthy
in that class
and cheap.
Yes,
Mhm.
Yep.
because we all know the issues.
Yep.
They're in.
And that's to piggyback on that question. Is it hard for you to like watch your diet?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
I feel like I'd be
Horrible.
fluctuating.
I have 6 classes. So I teach 3 classes. I try all the kids' food. And then I go to lunch, and then I come back and I have 3 more. I mean, it gets ridiculous.
Yeah, I think
And I'm all or nothing. It's either like nothing, I'm only eating lunch today, or I'm just eating everything. And we make good food, like good tasting food, which is bad for you. But
that's cool.
we do some healthy stuff, though. I'll keep that in mind, too.
Good for you. I mean, I think teaching kids, I wasn't taught in high school what I was supposed to eat to stay lean, to stay healthy. We didn't even think about it. McDonald's was awesome.
Yeah.
KFC was like unbelievable. Yeah, sure. Let's.
Oh, KFC. Love it.
But it's not good for you.
That gravy.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the last question that I have for you. Then I'm going to make sure these guys have a chance to ask all the questions. How often do people say, "Hey, I'm a songwriter too. Listen to my song"? How often are you just like, "Oh man, ice picks"?
It happens maybe once a month.
And what do you say? Do you let them down soft, or do you say, "Hey, keep painting houses. You need to keep doing that"?
Well, a lot of people, I encourage everyone, and I don't know if that's right or wrong. I do encourage everyone because I was really bad in the beginning. I was really bad.
Everybody is at everything.
I couldn't sing. I didn't know that you could learn to sing, and I did. I can sing enough to where you can hear the song.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to write songs. I didn't know how to play guitar. So I learned everything from scratch. So when people send me something, I point out something good, then something that they could work on. Yeah,
That's
Love
a
it.
good way. That's awesome.
Good stuff.
And say the other thing in regards to like kids in school and just teaching them the right things. With both of your guys' experience and the time that you've been teaching, what would you say is like the biggest struggle or hurdle for kids to overcome across the board for most of them, like with technology and
That has totally changed.
with technology.
or just anything that a lot of kids are seeming to kind of like face together, but in their own ways. Like social media is a huge thing, but I don't want to like just put that out there and just be like, this is the problem.
I don't know. I think social media can. I like it. I love watching videos. YouTube is amazing. I like watching TikTok videos. I think it's easy to sit for an hour or two and just watch random things because it's fun. So I'm telling myself this. I should probably exercise a little bit more than just sit there the whole time because it's just so easy to do that. But I think the big thing that I am concerned about is the Chat GPT. I think a lot of kids use that. I think a lot of teachers don't mind if they use it. And I think it's great. I've actually done a couple lesson plans. I had them write some lesson plans because mine were all scattered and they just kind of condensed it. And I thought, okay, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you use it too early, I don't know. I think you're just robbing yourself of like the journey and the struggle of like, what do you really feel? Like what are your words? What is this really you? Because if you just put in a couple prompts, you haven't done anything. It's like this. I know this is the last question, so forgive me. But there's a Suno AI is the music recording platform, and I've been using that lately because I have all these songs that I've written, and I don't have. It's about $1,500 to record a song. You can go way higher, but my songs are about $1,500. And I don't have that much money. I've got 25, 30 songs that I really want to hear recorded. I've got some of these songs on this album are going to be 20-year-old songs because I just don't have the money to record all these songs all the time. So I have this platform where I can just plug in my song, and it sends back this beautiful, full production song. It's an AI voice. It's AI drums, every instrument, and it sounds amazing. It gets better all the time. You know, if it spits something out you don't like, you just press the button again and tweak something and say, no, I want a little bit more pop, and I'm getting all my songs recorded that way. What I don't like is someone saying, hey, I wrote this song, what do you think of it? And I'm like, hey, that's a great song, you know, cool, good job. But then I found out, I won't say who it is, but they're not writing the song. They're putting in, like, my girl left me in November, and every November I think of her. I wish I could skip November. And then here comes this song. Boom. It's a nice song. It's a good song, but they didn't write it. So that makes me sad, because you didn't write the song. And then if you didn't write this paper, you just put a little prompt in. I think it's just, you need to do that. You need to go through the struggle of, like, what am I supposed to say here? No, that's not what I want to say. Let's change it. I don't mind it a little bit. I think it's the chat GPT and the AI stuff is cool, but I think doing it too soon is robbing yourself of, like, showing yourself what you can really do. Because you can probably do a lot more than you think you can.
Oh, I would be lost if that had been around in high school. I would be so dumb, because I would rely on it immediately.
I would too.
I wouldn't do anything of my own.
Same here.
I give assignments that you can't do like that. And I'm also doing more verbal, oral assignments. Less writing, less. Tell us about it. Use your words.
Yeah.
I've got kids that are writing papers, and they can't pronounce the words in their papers sometimes. What's that word? I don't know. Well, how do you, you know?
You didn't write that.
You didn't write that. That happens all the time. But my biggest concern is not AI, because we're going to use it, and I'm not giving them opportunities for it to outsmart the assignment. What I'm concerned with is I never tell kids to be quiet anymore. You never have to tell your class to be quiet anymore. You never have to say, keep it down. Let's take it down a little bit. Because if they have any spare time at all, they take their phones out and they stare at their screen. They don't talk.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is more frightening.
Yeah.
So I applaud school districts that are going to the zero phone.
I think
The
Alton's
zero
doing
phone. The zero phone. Just put it away.
Yeah. I think Missouri, all schools in Missouri.
It is just like, I mean, it is dulling the abilities to speak and listen.
Just interact, yeah.
Interact. Any sense of interaction, I think, is more frightening than AI personally.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's every generation looks at the next generation and says, boy, these kids today. You know, that's been happening since Socrates.
Yeah. Kids
Literally.
these days.
Yeah, you know, literally. It's always going to be that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're too young to be in that to be in the situation where you're looking at kids today, because you're still a kid.
Yeah, I mean, but I am 37, and so it's just like how fast technology's changed too. You know, I'm looking at kids and I'm like, oh man, now I'm outside looking in on this whole culture, and I'm not a part of it. You know, especially like in the hip hop culture, like I consume and I study it, and it's just changed so much so fast. I'm like, man, this isn't really relative to me anymore. Like, I can't relate to a lot of this. So the whole hip hop music I'm listening to a lot of times is older stuff. But there are new artists who are really sticking, you know, to the classics and that type of style. And you know, like you said, it's gonna
hip hop is
it'll be
so
fine.
much.
It'll be fine. These kids will be fine. You know, it's just all, I mean, and that's what in my opinion, you know, that's what we're all here for. And it's just a constant building and on top of everything and trying to improve and figure out what not to do. And it's just a natural thing here. You know, this is life. But that's why I love art. I love music. That's why we're here doing this podcast about creativity, because it just is included in everything you do.
Yeah. Can I ask you one last question?
Absolutely.
What's harder, teaching school or writing a song?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, it depends on the kids, doesn't it?
It depends on the day.
Boy, one class is different than the next.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you
That's awesome.
for having
Charlie.
me. Appreciate it.
So nice to meet you.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
congratulations on the songwriting success, and for sticking with the journey, and for having the discipline to stick to your dream, and then congratulations also on the teaching career too.
I appreciate it.
Those are notable, and you can tell how much the kids love and respect you from the video, and that speaks to Principal Newell's support of you as well, because he's getting behind you because he knows you're doing a good job for the kids. So kudos to you, man.
I appreciate
We'll have you
it.
back again, okay?
Thank you. And thank you guys for the awesome video.
Oh,
Can't
our
wait to do
pleasure.
it again.
Yeah, it's
Always do.
Go ahead and take it out to this, all right?
You have to
All right.
bring the guitar next time and do a little performance for us.
I will. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Creatures of creativity.
Creatures of creativity.